Today, I will sign a series of historic executive orders. With these actions, we will begin the complete restoration of America and the revolution of common sense. It's all about common sense.
From behind his desk in the Oval Office, President Donald Trump signed a flurry of executive orders and decrees aimed at cracking down on immigration. From an order tackling the definition of birthright citizenship to an order declaring the illegal immigration at the border a national emergency, Trump swiftly made moves on his promises to tighten the U.S.-Mexico border. In his first appearance from the White House's Oval Office after being inaugurated as the 47th president, Trump signed an order declaring a national emergency, paving the way to send U.S. troops to the southern border. The National Emergency Order represented a pivotal moment in the administration's commitment to fortify border security. Analysts argue this move underscored the administration's focus on reshaping immigration policy. Critics, however, pointed to the sharp drop in unauthorized crossings as evidence of misplaced priorities. The deployment of troops also reignited debates over the role of the military in domestic affairs. Because of the gravity and emergency of this present danger and imminent threat, it is necessary for the armed forces to take all appropriate action to assist the Department of Homeland Security in obtaining full operational control of the southern border, the executive order said. This despite a sharp drop in the last 6 months in the numbers of people crossing the border without authorization after the Biden administration's crackdown on access. But some of those orders, particularly any order that aims to change the definition of birthright citizenship, are likely to face steep legal opposition. Trump had previously vowed that the destructive policies of the Biden White House would be gone within 5 minutes. Hours earlier, thousands of would-be migrants had their immigration appointments canceled after the new administration scrapped CBP-1, an app used to book appearances at ports of entry at the border. In his inaugural address, Trump vowed that all illegal entry will be halted and that millions of criminal aliens will be deported. He also signed an order declaring Mexican drug cartels terrorist organizations. At a previous event at Washington's Capital One Arena, Trump formally revoked nearly 80 executive actions, which he described as radical, from the Biden administration. "I have no higher responsibility than to defend our country from threats and invasions," Trump said in his inaugural address at the U.S. Capitol earlier in the day. As part of the broader plan, Trump administration officials said the president would direct the Department of Defense to seal the border and devote additional resources and personnel, including counter-drone capabilities. He also attempted an audacious move to redefine who gets to become an American under the U.S. Constitution, as well as overhauling the refugee admission program. Birthright, that's a big one, Trump told reporters, as he signed an order that attempts to deny automatic citizenship to the U.S.-born children of undocumented immigrants, a guarantee bestowed by the 14th Amendment. The president cannot unilaterally change the Constitution, and civil rights groups, including the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, have already vowed immediately to challenge such a directive in court. The order, which applies prospectively to children born 30 days after the measure's implementation, instructs federal agencies not to issue certain documents that would normally be provided to those born in the U.S., regardless of their parents' immigration status. Trump acknowledged a legal challenge was likely on that policy, but said his team believed they were on good ground to end birthright citizenship. Despite his hardline rhetoric, Trump insisted, "I'm fine with legal immigration. I like it. We need people," he said. Trump also signed an order designating drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. And he signed an order to resume construction of the tall barrier along the U.S.-Mexico border that he spent heavily on during his first administration, but which Biden largely halted. Designating drug cartels as terrorist organizations marked a significant shift in the administration's strategy to combat transnational crime. This order expanded the legal tools available to target cartel operations, including financial sanctions and military interventions. All illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places in which they came, Trump had said earlier in his inaugural address on Monday, moments after being sworn into office in Washington. Speaking in the Capitol Rotunda just feet from Joe Biden, Trump delivered a stinging rebuke of his predecessor's border policy. His vow to declare a national emergency drew a standing ovation from his supporters, but also from a few Democrats in attendance. Before the inauguration ceremony, an incoming White House official previewed additional border-related actions the new president would prioritize on his first day, stating that Trump would aim to suspend refugee resettlement for at least 4 months, end asylum, and reinstate a first-term policy forcing people seeking asylum to wait in Mexico while their cases are processed. In the earlier press call, the official offered few details on how the administration planned to execute such a sprawling set of immigration actions that were all but certain to face legal and logistical challenges. The new administration also moved to swiftly scrap CBP-1, a mobile application used by migrants to book appointments to appear at a port of entry. Biden administration officials had credited the app with helping reduce the number of detentions at the border since it was first introduced in January 2023. It was the only legal pathway to request asylum at the U.S.-Mexico border. Now, the Customs and Border Protection website notes that the app is no longer available. App users also now are shown a message noting that existing appointments scheduled through CBP-1 are no longer valid. According to CBS, the BBC's U.S. partner, the Biden administration had scheduled roughly 30,000 appointments via CBP-1 for migrants to enter the U.S. in the next 3 weeks. Other estimates had suggested that as many as 270,000 migrants were in Mexico waiting for an opportunity to enter the U.S. using CBP-1. In the Mexican border city of Tijuana, some migrants reported feeling defeated and deflated after learning of CBP-1's demise. The new administration's decision to scrap CBP-1 was immediately met with a legal challenge from the American Civil Liberties Union, which filed court documents requesting an immediate status conference on the matter. The abrupt cancellation of CBP-1 left thousands of migrants stranded in limbo, with many uncertain about their future. Shelters in border towns, already overwhelmed, struggled to accommodate the growing numbers. Immigration advocacy groups have also reacted furiously to Trump's immigration orders. Immigration advocates argued that the lack of alternative solutions only compounded the crisis. In a statement, Jenny Murray, the president and CEO of the National Immigration Forum, said that the orders are disappointing but not surprising. The expected orders would separate families and weaken our economy, Ms. Murray said. They do not uphold American values. The sweeping immigration orders signed by President Trump mark a defining moment in the nation's ongoing debate over border security and immigration policy. While his supporters praise the bold moves as a fulfillment of campaign promises, critics argue they risk undermining fundamental rights and humanitarian principles. As legal challenges loom and tensions rise on both sides of the border, the question remains: will these measures lead to long-term solutions, or will they deepen divisions in an already polarized nation? Your perspective matters. How will the legal battles over these executive orders shape the future of immigration in America? Will Trump's vision for stricter immigration laws withstand the legal battles it is bound to face? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on similar stories. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice matters in these discussions. See you next time.